Hello and welcome back to Women's Football Talk, the YouTube channel that brings you all the latest news and stories from around the world of women's football. Now, before we get into today's video, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a video of ours. So the big news that has came out of the world of women's football over the last 24 hours is to do with Brighton and Hove Albion. On Thursday afternoon, they announced that manager Melissa Phillips leaves her role with immediate effect. Now, the statement read from Brighton: Melissa Phillips has left her position as women's head coach with immediate effect. Mikey Harris, supported by Owen Fisher, will take interim charge for the foreseeable future, supported by the current women's first team technical staff. Technical director David Weir said, "This is not a decision which has been taken lightly, but it is vital for the progress we want to see in the Women's Super League. We have invested heavily in the women's squad and infrastructure going into this season, and results and performances have not been at the level we had expected given that investment. We would like to thank Melissa for her efforts and on behalf of everyone at the club, wish her well for the future." Women's Managing Director Zoe Johnson added, "I would like to echo David's words of thanks and wish Melissa well moving forward. The immediate priority is upcoming WSL, Conti Cup and FA Cup matches against Man United this weekend and Aston Villa and Wolves the following week, while also beginning the search for a permanent head coach." So that one came as a bit of a surprise to many in the world of women's football. 6:45 that news came out. No one was expecting it. A day after deadline day, she had already held her press conference looking ahead to that Manchester United game, so it came out of the blue. Realistically, to many of the women's football world, and it is a strange one because appointed in April last year, saw Brighton out for the last few games of the season, helping them stay up, and then has gone into this season. Obviously they were heavily invested, made a lot of signings, and it just hasn't gone maybe as well as the board were hoping. I mean, they're in 10th place at the minute after 12 games with 11 points. So not too far off a top half position in literally 2 wins, and results elsewhere could see them moving into the top half of the WSL table. They're still in the Conti Cup, they're still in the FA Cup like they said in their statement, so it's not like they're out of all the tournaments and have gone on a really bad losing streak. So it's a bit of a strange one for the club to do, because I think we could see certainly what she was trying to get across with this Brighton team, and her tactics and style of play was slowly becoming more and more clear, and I think it was going to be more progression as this season went on and into the future seasons. And I think it's just a really strange decision, considering it's the day after the January transfer window closed, so whoever they get a new manager in has to deal with the players that Melissa Phillips left them with. We don't know how long this managerial search will take, so will it be very similar to last season when Melissa Phillips actually came into the role? Will it be until April, and the last 5 to 6 games of the season they'll be in charge for? It's just something I'm not too sure what they were expecting from this team, because they've said in the past they want to be able to bridge the gap and potentially get into the top 4 of the WSL. If they were expecting that with immediate impact, I don't think that was very logical of them. It's something that's going to take a lot of time, no matter how many players you get into your team, whether they're the best 11 players on the planet or just 11 total strangers. It takes time to build relationships and get things going and connected for players to build up. So it is a very strange decision, and it's put Brighton in a very strange position, because over the last 12-14 months they sacked Hope Powell, and then Amy Merricks was in charge for a short period. Then they brought in Jens Scheuer, and then they sacked him. Then they brought Merricks back for I think a game or 2 as interim before Melissa Phillips was handed the coaching position. Now they've sacked her and brought 2 people in from the men's side to take over her for the foreseeable future. So it seems like constant change is happening at Brighton, and you can't settle to players to a playing style, a specific manager, because they don't seem to be sticking around for long enough. And this is something that could come back to bite Brighton. West Ham strengthened in the January transfer window. Bristol City didn't do as much business, but they are a team that could definitely pick out some results in there. So don't be too thinking that Brighton are clear of the relegation and that they won't go down, because they could easily be sucked into this now following the announcement of Melissa Phillips leaving, and it's just something that could hurt the club a lot going forward. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see how that plays off. Personally, I think it's the wrong decision. I think Whilst it hasn't been the perfect season for them and they're not doing as well as maybe they wanted to, I don't think they're having a dreadful season. You can see the progress that's being made in the team, and I think if we was, say, at the end of the season and things hadn't gone well and they were relegated from the WSL, then I could say, yeah, that's an understandable decision. But we're in January, just under half the season left to go. A lot can change. To me, it's a very strange decision. The fact that you'd allow a manager to have all of the January transfer window as well, bring in signings, like, it's a very strange decision. Like, they've played 3 games since the turn of the year: an FA Cup game against Luton, 2 league games where they beat Bristol City and they lost to Chelsea, and then a Conti Cup win against Brighton and Hove Albion, which saw them progress to the quarter-final. So I don't know what more the board could really have been hoping for since the players came back in January. It's just a very confusing situation, and one that could come back to bite Brighton, and it's one that I don't think many, if anyone, saw at all happening. So looking ahead to this weekend's fixtures, starting off with Saturday lunchtime, we have Aston Villa versus Bristol City. Then on Sunday, we have Manchester United playing host to Brighton and Hove Albion, West Ham taking on Arsenal, Manchester City, Leicester City, Liverpool, Tottenham and Chelsea versus Everton rounds up this weekend's fixtures in the WSL. So plenty of food for thought looking ahead into this weekend's game, especially now with the Brighton news, and we'll keep you posted with any new managers as soon as they're appointed. We'll let you know. So make sure you're following us on social media, Twitter and Instagram, Women's Football Talk. Search for on both and you'll come across us, and make sure you are subscribed to this channel with the post notification bell turned on so you never miss a video of ours. And in the meantime, we'll see you soon.